Hi, my name is Rupitai and welcome to my YouTube channel. Um, this is Life Unfiltered to start with, and basically, this channel is to do with life experiences and more. I can't say more of mine because, in a nutshell, it's a lot of things that I've seen, that I've heard, that you know, people that I've met in my life from different walks of life that have shared their stories and sometimes you introspect and see or realize certain things that you didn't think about before, and yeah, it clicks in a moment like, oh my gosh, maybe if things could have been done differently in this manner or that manner, then that could have worked out a different way. But yeah, that's life unfiltered. That's what life is unfiltered is going to be about. Um, Audience, we're talking about both men and women, and sad to say, it's not sad actually. It's a good thing. We are going to be divulging different issues, including issues that include men. Um, and it's not to attack you or anything, but it's to just lay out certain things that I feel like maybe men have never really sat down to have these conversations, be with family or whatever. At some point, my husband is going to be a guest on the channel to discuss some things that we that basically he thinks he can chip in or feels like he can chip in, or when he's comfortable to come through, that's when he'll come through. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much what the channel is about. I'm not much of a lifestyle content creator. Probably you'll have a little bit of that here and there within my videos, but most of my content will be me talking about certain things that happen in life that people can use as information that can help them out in their daily life or in decision making or whatever, I don't know, that you can contemplate on. Um, then I'm basically a mom and pretty much learning on the job as a mom of one. And we are going to get into how motherhood is a scam, by the way. Um, um, in fact, let's start with that for today. Oh, things that I have learned from motherhood. So, first things first, our parents don't tell us everything. They really don't tell us everything. There's so much that I feel like they could not explain to us as their children. They could tell you maybe your birth story or something like that, but whether what was your experience and you didn't realize like, oh my god, this is actually a lot. Just for somebody to keep a relationship going or something like that, which is also a scam, by the way. I don't know how you'll do it because noise, actually noise. Um, but let's start with there's. I remember someone posting this. There's motherhood. Um, there's postpartum, and with family around you, and then there's postpartum when you're outside, away from family completely. Where, first of all, everything is looking at you and your husband, and um let's just say we were mentally, me and my husband were mentally sort of like that we knew right, and how to how we're gonna go about it, and the excitement of the baby arriving, and obviously excitement to I'm getting my body back. I don't need to be walking around like a duck anymore. That on its own is something that you'll be so caught up on. But the reality of postpartum home, sleeping every like feeling drowsy, sleeping every other whatever, to mane kamwana kari kuti nye sisi kari kuda kuyamwiswa, kari kuda kushushudzwa, kari kuita sei, all those things. I mean, when you're sleep deprived, mind you, you don't sleep when you're in labor. You hardly sleep. You sleep briefly, and then after the baby is born, you're not really sleeping, because you're also thinking, is that child breathing, or is everything fine and whatnot? And it's not the same. And even your husband doesn't sleep. He's also there. Okay, my experience, my husband was present throughout, so he also didn't sleep. He briefly slept on an uncomfortable couch, but it was one of those things that both of us were sleep deprived. And then you come back home and you're dealing with this little human, and you're trying to think of what it is that you need to do to make sure you keep them alive, because you've never done this before. It's your first time. But the truth is, physically as a woman, your body is going through a lot. Urikuita macrabs ari kubva kuplacenta iri kunzi iri kushiringa. Ndikuti iri kunzi because you can't see it physically, but that's what's apparently happening. You're also learning to breastfeed, which honestly is not the easiest thing under the sun. And musana wako kuchirwadza, and figuring out how to breastfeed a baby. I was lucky because I had a nurse that actually taught me most of it, and ndikazvikopa kunzwisisa before I left the hospital. So by the time I got home, I got it. But let's be honest, because the size of my bust, it was a mission to hold that baby in position and make sure he is feeding without suffocating. So one hand is trying to, and the other is it. That was something else. But in all honesty, my back went through it. The first, and so my back wasn't in the perfect form. And to add on to that, you know, experiencing those tremors that you experience soon after wabereka mwana, where even just putting a trousers on is so hard. It's like you came from a place where you couldn't really do much for yourself, and now you're thinking, oh, maybe I can do that. And then you realize, no, you can't. Actually, you still need help. And at the same time, your body is still bleeding. I mean, it's a lot happening at once. And it's difficult to go through. I mean, the truth is, physically it changes you. It even alters your brain chemistry, like in terms of how you look at things or think. Be it a natural birth or C-section, listen, it doesn't matter. It's really difficult. But one thing that I would say is, for every person that actually doesn't have, be it you have family actually or you do, let me be honest, having a supportive partner is very, very important. And why? Pamwe pacho kana uri kutadza kuita zvinhu and uine munhu akamirira kuti vodhile zvese nemwana, I don't know how you will manage, because basically there's actually no way. You will go through so much mentally if it's all relying on you. And other thing is, it's normal really, because I heard so many stories from different people on my baby shower actually, who shared kuti, you know, sometimes you reach a point where even because it's a lot. It's actually a lot during that transition. And it's like the introduction highlight to, oh, now you're a mom. But as time goes on, guess what? You start figuring it out. you start getting better at it. You start breathing a little bit. And inini nango mistake yandakaita nansingazivi mwana anobira cluster fitwa early. I mean, I think it's a day that you cluster feed the baby and then you stop. I went on, I think, for almost a week. Did you cluster feed mwana? Because it's gonna midway wrong with so no, you don't need to keep doing that. You can stop now. And I think you're already adapted to waking up like every 3 hours. And guess what? I'm still paying for it. Because the child is still waking up, I think 3 times a night or 2, something like that. Depends with his mood. But hey, I'm my one. Sleep deprivation is real. And also other thing is, with sleep deprivation being real, people don't realize how much sleep is actually important for people to function and recharge and be normal, because that on its own actually leaves you in a space where let me put it that way, with anything. And it's not even that it's your fault, but it's more like you can't pour from an empty cup, right? Physically. So if your cup is empty and you physically can't, my battery, and now you're trying to charge a whole little person and then handle a household that also requires you to pour out of yourself, that's difficult, that's complicated. And yeah, that is something that I would say early days, honestly, it was also something difficult that I had to deal with. And on some days I find myself in that space because it's actually, yes, as much as you're a stay-at-home mom, you can't always get a chance to sleep. And when you do, it might be brief, it might be a decent amount of time, and when you're lucky, like the baby sleeps a decent stretch. But yeah, people say, hey, sleep when the baby sleeps. It's a lie. It's an actual lie. Sometimes you can't sleep when the baby sleeps because you have things to do around the house. And sometimes, yes, you manage to sleep when the baby sleeps, but the most you can get maybe, depending on what you want, how long for a nap. It's an hour or 2. But yeah, that's part of my experience. Then as we go forward, there are things that I would say but the biggest lesson of all that me and my husband have learned is that it's both our first time at doing the job, and that's okay, and whatever we do is okay, and figuring it out is okay, because I mean, we might have a second child, we might have a third, whichever, and every single time it will be a first time experience with each child, because every child differs. You hear stories of people talking about, Muneduk airara through the night, but wish to eat at it and that's when you realize, yeah, it differs. And that's something that also comes with parenting, where you need to start learning the little people that you're raising and trying to understand them, and trying to figure out how to make your life easier. So I distracted sometimes. So I will be at some points. But anyways, let's leave it for here today. And I don't know if I will be making videos on different days and then, combining them, or short videos at a time. But we will figure it out as we go. This is my first time actually like making a decision to do this, because I feel like there's so much information I could share out there personally with other people that I feel like maybe it might help them. And with the young ones coming into homes and whatnot, it might help them. And not only those who are getting into homes, but even those, because I think I will deep dive into life and issues before you even get married, when you're still young and whatnot. Because I feel like I have a little bit to share when it comes to that, in terms of some things that happen in life and whatnot. But Kwanas Tombo Gumira Pano. I still don't know where we're gonna go with this, but hopefully I'll be able to upload a video every week. When I do not do that, please understand, I'm currently a student, a mom, and someone interested in sharing this type of content. So, and also video, it's actually a lot of work. So please understand when I don't manage to upload something, because sometimes there will be so much on my plate I won't be able to get a chance. But for everyone who has watched, thank you so much. Thank you. You're amazing. Do like and subscribe. And hopefully I will have a TikTok channel where maybe I will post shorter clips of whatever it is that I would be thinking of sharing. Then I will see what gets easier as time goes forward, because the major thing for me actually is sharing this information out there more than anything. And hopefully this helps somebody out there who is either prepping to have a baby, their first baby, or someone who is in a home and they're trying to figure it out with their partner. Next video, probably I will talk about how you can help your partner maneuver post-birth, actually how you can help each other, because you're in this together more than anything. Anyways, thank you so much. Love. Bye.